Today I'm going to be showing you the features of the Surefire Wiegand wireless bridge. Backup battery using door position sensors, request to exit button, and a door strike. We will start with power. I have a 12 volt and we recommend at least 1 amp power supply. We are going to wire it that's labeled 12 volts and ground. The next two terminals on the bottom are our battery terminals. They come over to here and then they can connect to our battery to give us a backup battery. This is a 7 amp hour battery. You can also use a 5 amp hour battery would be sufficient. Use lead acid batteries. Next, we have our keypad. Our keypad just comes through and we have it push through, and all the wires are coming through on this side. We have wired into our V-bus. We have the red wire. The black wire goes into ground. Green wire goes into data 0 or D0, and the white wire goes into D1 or data 1. If your keypad has an LED light, it can be put in the next terminal. On our Wiegand controller interface, we also have power coming from a 12 volt, and we recommend a 1 amp power supply. Then we have our battery terminals, and then that NC means that it is not used. And then we have a black wire for ground, a green wire for data 0, and a white wire for data 1. And those go to our controller. Now on our education board, we have this little mock controller here. And you can see on the top that we have our ground, our green, data 0, and our white data 1. It's powered separately off of its own power supply. Now, if I come over to the remote interface board, I can scan my fob, and you can see on the remote interface the transmit and receive light. You can see that it's communicating, and you can see on my little board the little yellow light up saying that it's got a signal. Now that we have the Wiegand getting into our controller interface, now we are going to set up for the relays. So this is where the relays come off of this board. When using Surefire, we always come off of the normally open and common. Even if you're using a normally closed, we come off of normally open and we do the normally closed on the other side. To trigger the door, I'm going to use this yellow wire to trigger our door strike. So on the controller interface, we're going to bring relay from the door controller with this yellow wire into the top here where it's labeled relay 1. And then the black wire coming off of the other terminal here, we're going to bring it over and bring it into ground. So we're going to go relay 1 and ground. And this will trigger the door strike on the other side. Now, on the remote interface, we are going to wire this door strike in so that it will work, and we're going to trigger it with relay 1. Now relay 1 has moved to these left 3 terminals, and this door strike is normally open. So we have brought the wire from the door strike and put it in normally open, and then we're going to also come off of ground because I'm going to do this as a wet contact, and I've changed my jumper to be on the back 2 pins. So with the jumper on the back 2 pins, when relay 1 is shorted to ground from the controller, it is going to give 12 volts between normally open and ground to open up this door strike. So let me scan my card and I'll show you the door strike being open. See how it's not open now? Strike my card, and we see the door strike open. Now I'm going to show you how to wire the door position switch. Normally this is closed when it's on the door, and I've extended these wires and I've changed them to black and blue to correspond with the colors on the front of the Surefire device. From the door position sensor, I'm going into R3 in and ground. And then on the controller interface, it's going to come through on this left-hand side. The blue comes out, R3 normally closed and R3 common. So that's going to go out into the door controller, and then the door controller will send out the relay, and it's going to come back, and we're going to wire it into R2 in and ground. We come over here, now R2's moved over here, so I'm going to say I'm going to wire this horn in to R2 normally open and ground. So it's this green wire, and I've actually unwired it in the back so that I don't trigger it and hear a loud noise. But when I open up my door position sensor, you can see that it's triggering relay 3 here, which would make that horn sound, but I have it disabled so I don't hurt your ears. The last thing I want to show you is the request to exit button, or exit button. I have wired this one, and we're going to go into R4 in and ground with the 2 signal wires. So I have extended those, and I've made them orange and black to correspond with the stickers on the front of the remote interface. Yours might be different colors, but mine are orange and black, and I put them in. So when I push the request to exit button, it sends the signal to the remote interface, and it's coming out on R3, which is orange, from the normally open and common, and it sends a signal out over to our controller into the request to exit terminals, which are the same on this training board as the other terminals, but will be different on your board. And you can see as I push the request exit button, it allows the door strike to open through relay 1 as well. This is how you can wire a keypad, a door position sensor, a request to exit button using all of the relays on the Wiegand wireless bridge.